All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started in Design Space. I will also include a link in the description below to take you to this exact project if you want to make it too. And then everything's all finished and ready for you to go there. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to hide this design and I'll show you how I did everything. So the first thing that I did was I went through all of the images. So if you click on images over here, we're going to be using the quote that says, "Bless this dirty kitchen." So if you type that in, it will pop up right away for you. So you can click on that and click insert images. I'll make this a little bigger here for now. And now do you see how this entire image is one color? It's just black. That means it's a single layer image. And if you come over to the layers panel here too, you can also tell like this is it. It's one layer and that's all. It's gonna cut just like this. But we know that we want to use two different colors of vinyl. So we are going to be using a tool called the contour tool to make this a double layer project. And it's actually really simple to do and I love using the contour tool, so I'm excited to show you how to do that. So we want to be able to get this image separated. We want Bless and the kitchen to be together and we want the this and the dirty to be together. So the first thing we're going to do is duplicate this. We'll just set this one off to the side for now. Now click on one of your images. And in the bottom right hand corner, we'll click contour. So the contour tool allows you to hide portions of your design, which is super cool. So if there's parts of it you don't want, or you just want things hidden for whatever reason, you can use this tool to actually hide things or hide parts of it, which is really nice. So I just zoomed out right here so you can see the whole thing. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of the words this and dirty. So there's two ways that you can start to do this. You can just click on the individual letters. So watch the T over here when I click the T here. Do you see how it disappears? So you can keep clicking on the letters and they will disappear. You can also come over into this panel right here and scroll through and it'll show you all of the pieces of the design as well. So you could also click on them over here and that will get rid of them. So when they turn to this more like faint color, that's when you know that they're hidden versus this like darker gray. So I'm just going to keep clicking on all of these different parts. And don't forget the inside of the letters as well. So now we have hidden this dirty. We'll close the contour tool. And now check it out. It's just Bless and kitchen. So we can go ahead and turn that to our gold color. Now we're going to do the same exact thing for the second one. We're just going to hide the Bless and the kitchen. So I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to click up here. You see where it says Bless and then kitchen. And then I'm going to go ahead and just hide the inside of the letters as well. So then all it will leave behind is this dirty. And that is really the basics of the contour tool. I use this tool a lot. It's one of my favorites. So we're going to go ahead and change this to the silver. And then now we have a two-layered image, so they're separate, which is really nice. It'll allow us to cut two different kinds of vinyl. So then from here, we're going to group these two together and we want to adjust this to the correct size. So I went ahead and measured my cutting board and I want it to be 11.5 inches wide. So I'm going to come up here to size. I'm going to leave this lock on, type 11.5, hit enter. And then it's automatically going to adjust the height for me. So now I know exactly what the dimensions are for my design to go on my cutting board. It's 11.5 wide and almost 9 inches tall. So that's all I did to get this two-layer design from the single layered one. Just used the contour tool, we duplicated it and just made our own. So from there, confirm your machine selection. You can do this, you can work with vinyl on any of the Cricut machines. But this project would be too big for the Joy, so just keep that in mind. You'd have to use an Explorer or a Maker, but we're using the Air 2, so we'll leave the Explorer selected. Click on Make It, and then this part is really important. So we are going to be placing our vinyl underneath our cutting board, and I'm doing this because I don't actually want my food to touch the vinyl. I don't want my knife to be like cutting over the vinyl. So I'm going to place the vinyl underneath the cutting board so that you still can see the design through the glass. We're going to mirror our image. So over here, we're going to click on mirror and we'll have to do that for both mats. So it's going to cut backwards, but since we're putting it on underneath our cutting board, when we flip the cutting board over, it will actually be perfect. So don't forget to mirror if you are going to be putting this on a cutting board as well. Then we'll hit continue. Oops. We will connect to the Air 2 over Bluetooth. select our material, and get cut. We're gonna go ahead and get our vinyl applied onto a cutting mat. I'm using a light grip mat today, but you can use a standard grip one as well. And I went ahead and cut my vinyl down to size. So I used a paper trimmer and cut it down to 3 inches wide. So just use my scraper tool and get that stuck on. And now I'll get this piece cut. I'm just gonna go ahead and move the smart dial over to vinyl, and then we'll get this loaded in, making sure you push your mat evenly up against the rollers. And then we'll get cutting. So to remove the vinyl from the mat, I'm gonna flip the mat over, bend the mat back, and hold the vinyl straight, just like that. So now from here, we're going to weed, and I'm gonna start with this silver one. Remember, we mirrored our image, so it's going to look like it's backwards, but when we put it onto the cutting board, it will be perfect. So I'm using a weeder tool, and I just like to start in one of the top, usually I start in the top left-hand corner, and just pull down. Sometimes it helps to like do a little rocking motion. Just go nice and slow, especially if you have like really tiny words. Fortunately, these are kind of big, so this will be pretty easy to weed. So we've got the vinyl removed from around, and now we'll do inside. Perfect. So that is the middle of our design. And then this is the gold portion, obviously. The silver part is gonna go right in the middle here. So you have 2 ways to do this. You can cut the bless and separate it from the kitchen, but I'm actually going to leave them together. And I know some people are probably gonna say it's a waste of vinyl. It is an option though, and the reason I wanna do this is because I wanna keep it perfectly centered. So just know that going in, it's a small-ish space, and so I'm okay with it, but just wanted to let you know, you can cut these out and just individually place each part on one by one, but I'm gonna keep mine together. Again, just go nice and slow. You'll have a lot of vinyl coming up. You just wanna make sure that all the pieces that need to stay. And if you find that you're getting a lot, I just like to take some scissors and kind of cut away the excess. I find it's just a little easier to work with. The next step is going to be to transfer our vinyl design to the cutting board. I'm using Cricut's transfer tape here, and I've got it cut to actually the same exact size, so it's all good to go. I'm gonna remove the transfer tape from this paper backing that it's on, and make sure you hold on to the paper backing because you can reuse your transfer tape for as long as it stays sticky. And I'm just gonna carefully place my transfer tape on top. I've kind of like got it in like a little U almost here, and I like to just start at the end and slowly work my way down. You want to make sure that you apply it unevenly. So this is why I like to start at one end, and you just see how I'm just pushing down a little bit at a time. And once you've got it good, you can just lay that down. Now we'll take the scraper tool. We'll burnish on the front. And then flip it over, and I always like to burnish from the back side too. Now we're gonna remove the paper backing from the vinyl. Again, I like to start in one, usually the top left-hand corner is the one I always seem to go to, but any corner will do. And just work your way down on a 45-degree angle. So here's our cutting board that we're using. We picked this one up at Walmart. So this is the front side. So I'm gonna flip this over. And then we're gonna take our transfer tape combo, and we're gonna get this lined up. Woo, be real careful, especially if you're using permanent vinyl when you place this on. So you can get a tape measure and measure if you want. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. And then place it down evenly when you feel like you've got it in a good spot. So now we'll grab our scraper tool, and we're gonna push down. And then we'll slowly peel back from the transfer tape. Again, at that 45-degree angle, and your vinyl should stay on your cutting board. If you find that it's not, you can push your transfer tape back down again and just keep burnishing. Perfect. So now let's get this dirty, and I'm gonna apply it on. You can also apply your vinyl like onto the transfer tape like I'm doing here, whichever is easiest for you, or place the transfer tape on top. Both methods work. I'm gonna see if I can just peel it from here, just with burnishing the back. Nope, need to burnish the front. Okay, so we'll flip this over. Obviously we just have a lot of extra transfer tape down here, so I'm just gonna try and be real careful. So we'll start in a corner again. Mine is sticking a little bit to this paper backing, but I'm just kind of pushing down with my finger, and that's working just fine. The majority of it is staying on. So if you find little pieces, like do you see how this one right here is staying on? If you just want to go ahead and push down like that, that will work too. Perfect. So now we're gonna get this lined up and we're gonna center it with our gold design. We'll do our best here. I think that looks about good. I just flipped it over and looked from the front side, which was really helpful. So now we'll push down again. And my transfer tape did get on the kitchen gold part, so we'll have to remove that again, but it should be just fine. Oops, so do you see how the H is stuck on there? Just gonna go ahead and push down. Or I guess that's an I, not an H. All right, now let's take our scraper one last time and just make sure we push down. And we'll flip it over and see what this looks like. And there it is. I'm super, super excited about how this turned out. What's nice is I can cut on here and I don't have to worry about like touching the vinyl or cutting the vinyl because we mirrored our image and we actually applied it on the back side. So super excited about that. That is all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. We love to help you out, but I hope you found this helpful in learning how to mirror your vinyl for a project like this. So anyway, thanks so much for watching.